Good morning, Bix Weir, road-to-road.com with your morning horn of Z's, your sip of coffee. I'm looking at Amy. Oh man, I forgot my coffee. Tea today, actually. Yes, we will be announcing the cleanse today. We'll talk about it. Those of you interested, it'll change your life. I'm just saying. We'll talk about that later. Huge news in cryptos. Donald Trump is the first president to come out and talk about cryptos. Literally saying, oh no, we can't have cryptos. Donald Trump has just made cryptos a positive thing in the eyes of the vast majority of humanity because anything he says, the other side, the Trump haters are going to say, oh my God, you got to do the opposite of Trump. Is this a calculated move? Of course it's a calculated move. Does Trump think that cryptos will help save humanity? Yes, he does. He also believes gold will. Yeah, I'm not in that camp. He knows about the gold in the Grand Canyon. He knows about Yamashita's gold. He knows about the gold all over the world, millions of tons of gold. So it would be difficult to go back to gold standard. And the big thing about the gold standard is obviously who owns all the gold? The banksters. Do we really want them in charge again? No, we don't. Sorry, Ripple guys. We don't want the banksters to keep hold of anything. We don't want them in charge of anything. So yes, absolutely 100%. This is a great thing for cryptos. Here's what Trump tweeted. I am not a fan of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. I mean, right there, that turns a vast majority of the population positive on cryptos. Just because the Trump haters, he can say, I don't like rainbows. And all the anti-Trump people are going to say, I love rainbows. It doesn't matter what it is, they're going to do the opposite. So he says, I'm not a fan of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, which are not money. At the moment, he is correct. And whose value is highly volatile and based on thin air. Based on thin air just tells you that he's not speaking from a position of knowledge. Based on thin air? Based on thin air. Based on thin air. Really? Unregulated crypto assets can facilitate unlawful behavior, including drug trade and other illegal activity. Absolutely. But which is worse? The US dollar, which is used in trillions of dollars of unlawful behavior and drug trade and other illegal activity, or cryptocurrencies, which are maybe millions of dollars. Trillions versus millions. Which one's better? And don't forget, the exact same thing was said about the internet in the 1990s. Absolutely. When the internet came out and there was a big push against it by certain politicians, they said it would facilitate unlawful behavior and it would also facilitate drugs and money laundering and other illegal activity. That's exactly what they were saying about the internet. Does it do that? Absolutely it does. It does. But the benefits compared to the costs are, I mean, what would our life be without the internet today? So yes, there's a give and take. Cost benefit analysis. Same thing with cryptocurrencies. Yes, it's going to facilitate some bad shit. But the good stuff, the removing ourselves from the criminal, corrupt banking system, the ability to remove ourselves from these criminals who control our lives, I mean, I'd make that sacrifice all day long. And freedom has gives people the ability to do what they want. So absolutely, it is easier to break laws, especially financial laws, and commit crimes in cyberspace if it is free. That's part of a free society. People can do what they want. Now, it's a lot easier to track and catch people, I believe, in the crypto world than it is in other worlds. The US dollar, for example, look at Deutsche Bank. Deutsche Bank has been and JP Morgan committing crimes for the past 50 years. And has the government come in and stop the illegal behavior? No, they might be starting now. But the funny thing is when people say unlawful behavior, and then you look at something like Deutsche Bank's, was it $50 billion with Danske Bank money laundering? They knew about it the whole time. You can't transmit $50 billion without going through the SWIFT system. and the central banks, so they knew about it. Are those guys going to jail? No. It's part of the cover-up. It's part of the illegal behavior. It's institutionalized illegal behavior. Anyway, Trump went on to say, and by the way, I think Trump's saying this on purpose for two reasons. One, to slow down the crypto rise. They needed to hold off a little longer, not much longer. I have put when and what time on the private road to Ruta and on Patreon, so both of you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. But they needed to put it off for a little more time. There's a couple more things that need to happen. But if your eyes are open, you see what's going on, you can tell it's happening. He goes on to say, similarly, Facebook's Libra virtual currency will have little standing or dependability. I agree. It is a centralized cryptocurrency based on the US dollar. I mean, why even have it? You don't even need it. If Facebook and other companies want to become a bank, they must seek a new banking charter and become subject to all banking regulations, just like other banks, both national and international. We only have one. Okay, so yes, absolutely, because it is so centralized, it will get attacked by any government that's in charge, because governments find their power through control and manipulation of money and prices of commodities. Like, can you imagine what would happen if Facebook's Libra really kicks in and people are using it to buy commodities, price of gold and silver, highly leveraged? And remember, Facebook is run by the bad guys, the criminals. Trump is at war with them right now. And he signed an executive order back in December saying, if you are busted, we can confiscate all your cryptocurrencies. It didn't say cryptocurrencies, it said assets, especially on the human trafficking. The pedophilia stuff is going down. Keep an eye daily on Epstein. I heard there's dozens of new women coming forward that were abused by him when they were 13, 14 years old. And not just him. This is the power elite. This is the bad guys. This is the deep state. This is the crypto cabal. They're all being taken down on this one. Just go through Jeffrey Epstein's little black book. I hear Mark Collins Rector is in there. Who's Mark Collins Rector? The inventor of Facebook and one of the king pedophiles. He's one of the only ones who's actually been busted for it. Busted in Spain. I have the arrest warrant, along with friends. We have only one real currency in the USA. Trump goes on. We have only one real currency. Now, this is really interesting, because there's two meanings of this. We have only one real currency in the USA, and it is stronger than ever, both dependable and reliable. Well, the US dollar's dropped like 99% in the last 100 years, so if that's strong, okay. But listen to what else it says. It is by far the most dominant currency anywhere in the world, and it will always stay that way. It is called the US dollar. What does the United States use as money today? What is the definition of a dollar? The US dollar is not a Federal Reserve note. It is not. If you're saying it's called the US dollar, there is a difference between a Federal Reserve note, which is a debt obligation, and a US dollar, which is defined as certain grains of true silver. Certain amount of grains. I forgot the exact definition. It's about 1 ounce of silver. If you're looking for the definition of a dollar, look it up. Go look at the strict constitutional definition of a dollar, as defined in the the Monetary Act or something like that, in long ago. But they defined the U.S. dollar as point something 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 silver, in ounces of silver. Not ounces, it was grains of silver. You know what? I want to do it. Hang on. Here we go. It was 1792 was the definition of the dollar. United States dollar. This is according to Wikipedia. Yeah, I know Wikipedia is a joke, but it'll have it in here, I suspect. The United States dollar is the official currency of the United States and its territories per the U.S. Constitution since 1792. And then it says the circulating paper money consists of Federal Reserve notes that are denominated in U.S. dollars. So the Federal Reserve notes are not dollars. Since the suspension in 1971 of convertibility of paper, the U.S. currency into precious metals, the U.S. dollar is de facto fiat money, which means it's not even the real thing. So here it goes. Article 1, Section 8 of the U.S. Constitution provides that the Congress has the power to coin money. Only Congress has the power to coin money. Laws implementing this power are currently codified at 31 U.S.C. blah, blah, blah. Section 5112 prescribes the forms in which the U.S. dollars should be issued. These coins are both designated in Section 5112 as legal tender of all payments. The pure silver dollar is known as the Silver Eagle. Okay, the word dollar. Interesting. Normally they have it. Oh, here it comes. Normally it's right up there. It was based off the Spanish dollar. And the famous pieces of eight, which were widely distributed in the Spanish colonies in the New World and the Philippines. Eventually, the dollar became the name of the first official American currency. Sign, history. Here we go. The U.S. dollar was first defined by the Coinage Act of 1792, which specified a dollar to be based in the Spanish milled dollar of 371 grains and 4/16 part of a grain of pure or 416 grains of standard silver, and an eagle to be 247.4 and 4/8 grain of gold. That is still the definition of a dollar. 371 grains and 4/16 part of a grain of pure silver. That is the definition of a dollar. And then we represent it by the fiat money system, which is the banks that's when the Federal Reserve took over and issued fiat. Well, it's all fiat. Fiat means declared by the government. You have to use this. Fiat is going away. But the debt-based money came about in 1913 with the creation of the Federal Reserve, and that was created because they found millions of tons of gold in the Grand Canyon. I have all the research I've done. I saw somebody post the other day, Bix is so ridiculous. He bases everything on some comic book he read that the Fed put out. I didn't stop there. I didn't read the comic book and say, oh, I know exactly what's going on. I did 10 years of research into what it meant and who was involved and why they said it and what's happening. Please educate yourself. Just go to roadtoroot.com. The top section is all free. Thousands of articles on it. You can see me even going on site in the Grand Canyon, pointing out where they were mining all the gold, when they stopped, the steamship that they brought into the middle of the Grand Canyon. It took months, millions of dollars, and today it would be billions of dollars to get that in there. Because they had to built the steamship in San Francisco, put it on a train, and then wagon, and then donkey it down to this remote part of the Grand Canyon. They would not do that if there wasn't a real story. And I found much more proof than just the New York Times article from 1912. All right, let's go back to where we were. What is Trump doing? Two things. One, he's trying to slow it down. But number two is the big thing. The vast majority of the population will do the opposite of what Trump says. Trump is not an idiot. He's playing 4D chess when we're sitting here playing, tiddlywinks. That's good. He's playing 4D chess while we're playing tiddlywinks. The vast majority of the population has no idea what Trump's doing, but will go do and think the exact opposite of what he says. Thank you, Mr. Trump, for introducing cryptocurrencies to a vast majority of the population who is going to now love cryptocurrencies because you hate them. And what happened? Boom, we get a pop. We get a pop back up in cryptocurrencies. Is it based on Trump's? No, it's based on a computer program. Click. The computer program is running all cryptocurrency exchanges out of the Fed and out of the Exchange Stabilization Fund. Now remember, the Exchange Stabilization Fund, yes, they have a certain budget, but not when it comes to derivatives. They can do as many derivatives as they want. That's why there's quadrillions in derivatives trading every day. And they can do as many cryptos as they want. That's why there's quadrillions in cryptos trading. Now look at the volume of Litecoin. My favorite example, Litecoin. It's right here on the first page on CoinMarketCap. Litecoin, right here. Market cap of Litecoin, $6.5 billion. Trading in the last 24 hours, $4 billion. So it only took a day and a half. Yesterday was only a day. Today it's a day and a half for every single Litecoin, including your Litecoin, to be traded on these exchanges. It is pure criminality. These are derivatives being traded, people. They can place the price of Bitcoin at $0 or at $1 million with a click of a mouse. And that's how easy it is. What are they going to do with it? They're going to bring it up. The good guys are in charge of this baby. They're going to bring it up. Yes, there'll be violent drops. Do I think there's going to be a 90% drop again? I don't think so. I don't think so. Because they did it to shake people out. They did it on purpose, obviously, but it was to shake out people. Now they don't so much want to shake out people. They want people to get involved. So Trump's coming out and saying, oh, I don't like cryptocurrencies. What's that going to make people do? Go in and buy cryptocurrencies because they like it. Now, there is a lot of turmoil to be shaken out. There's a lot of criminals to be gotten rid of, especially in the crypto cabal, especially the people behind Tether and Bitfinex and BitConnect. Same people, same exact people. And they will extract them the best they can. They will confiscate their cryptos. They will make it so that they can't spend their cryptos. A lot of people saying, well, they'll just hide their keys. Yeah, they will. But what can they do with it if they're sitting in jail for life with no access to a computer and no access to outside people? Or they are put to death. Many will be put to death for the crimes that they committed that are beyond the cryptos. The Jeffrey Epstein connection. Some of these crimes are just so horrific. It makes. They said when the New York City Police Department found the information on Uba Abedin's laptop, grown men were weeping. It was so horrific what they did to little children. It just makes my skin crawl to think about it. I try not to think about it. But let's talk about social media. Social media, when they basically demonetized and blocked all discussion of the Democrats and Pizzagate and all that, and pedophilia, when it first broke, the Pizzagate stuff, and Google and YouTube are still blocking that, and Twitter is still blocking that type of information. And it turns out to be true. What does that tell you about the problems with censorship at these social media companies? How many people died? How many women were tortured and raped because social media wouldn't allow people to tell the truth? It delayed it years. It delayed the end of that game by years because of the censorship. So they're just as much to blame, and they're involved. That's why they were censoring. So, yeah. But people are starting to find out about. Here's a great article on Zero Hedge. Cryptos rally as Coinbase CEO says Trump's Bitcoin tweet is achievement unlocked. Despite Trump's criticism of cryptos, Bitcoin and its allies are bid this morning. Trump voiced his opposition to cryptocurrencies as a whole, citing Bitcoin and Libra specifically in a series of tweets published around 8:15 Eastern on July 11th. He goes through the tweets. As Telegraph reports, President Trump saying he's not a fan of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies is yuge for the industry, commenters were suggesting after new tweets on July 12th. In the hours after the United States president delivered his lackluster appraisal of crypto, Bitcoin price stayed stable, only to begin to hit 5% gains on Friday. Going to hit 5% gains Friday. Negative or not, for proponents, the event marked a psychological milestone for Bitcoin, as Trump had previously held off from mentioning it in public. The fact that he felt the need to bash Bitcoin publicly feeds the narrative that it is both independent of global powers and unable to be crushed by them. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong stated, leading the responses, quote, "Achievement unlocked. I dreamt about a sitting president needing to respond to growing cryptocurrency usage years ago. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win. We just made it to step 3, y'all." I love that. It's true. Armstrong exemplified the buoyant mood among Bitcoiners. Others likewise thanked Trump for the free publicity, noting a surge in interest documented by Google Trends, while the president being wrong in his opinion also became a talking point on social media. Quote, "Congratulations, BTC community. The President of the United States feels we are worthy of a tweet now." Quote, "Bitcoin has outperformed the US dollar by 22,440,508% since it started being priced in US dollars. Max Kaiser, the RT host and regular Bitcoin bull, considered Trump to have nullified his chances of re-election in 2020. I think he is too. I think Trump is not looking for re-election. He's looking to change the world, to take out the bad guys. Absolutely. He'll fall on the sword for the United States. Absolutely he would. If it gets out these criminals. If the world wakes up that cryptocurrencies are the savior. Some of them. And the bane of our existence, some of them. Some of them are not worth the electronic code they're printed on. But some of them will help save us from the problem that we have been kicking the can down the road since 1913. And that's the problem of money. Centralized money, you cannot trust human beings. You can never trust human beings with something so important in our economy. And until we have replicators, we're going to need money. I don't know how long replicators are out. I've talked about this a while, but they're out there. Technology changes every day. 3D printing was completely unheard of back in the 80s. 3D printing, you just got made a printing. You're going to say you're going to be able to 3D print physical objects? No way. And can we do it now? Absolutely. We can build a house with a 3D printer. I saw that video a couple of years ago. So will we get to the Star Trek replicators where they take energy, turn them into atoms, turn them into anything you want? If you can control the production of an atom through energy, and then you can construct it because you have the blueprint. If we can imagine it, it can be done. I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow. 50 years, 100 years, I would say absolutely. Will we need money in a world like that? If your basic needs are met, as in your food, your shelter, anything you need, because you can click a button and a replicator will create it out of the energy. Create the molecules, put them together how they need to be put together, construct a cheeseburger molecule by molecule. Is that technology possible? Absolutely it is. Are we there yet? Not even close. But 50, 100 years from now, we will be getting closer and closer. And do you need money in a world like that where your basic needs are met? No, you don't. Check out, it'll be credits. They might use credits, but truthfully, at the end of the day, our souls will be freed to do whatever they want in a world like that where our basic needs are met. There would be no poverty, no starvation. Now, the question is, can human beings survive that long without killing themselves? I don't know. That's up in the air. If we're smart and we and we think differently and we're not controlled by our current media, yeah, it's a possibility. So we'll see what happens, though. Anyway, that's the news for this morning. Amy and I are going to find a spot and tape a discussion on the cleanse. So get yourself prepared if you want to do it. It's 21 days, so it'll be a little chunk of your life that you're going to have to eat things that you were supposed to eat. And it's not about losing weight. That's just a side benefit of this thing. It's about increasing your vibration. And it literally will change your life. It changed my life. And every time I eat that bad stuff, not bad stuff, the things I've eaten my whole life, the low vibrational food, processed food, cooked food, I feel my energy go down. Now, a lot of people say, no, that's just you digesting. It just takes a lot of energy to digest pasta and French fries and things like that. Well, yeah, you feel better if you have more energy. If your vibration is higher, if your little molecules are firing off at faster speeds, you're going to feel better. And do you want to feel better? And it's not just a temporary feeling. It flows out into the universe to people around you. Just talk to the people. They say, Bix, you're boring, but you're kind of more exciting. They say, Bix, I'm boring because I used to party, woohoo! And there's nothing you can do, there's nothing you can't do without partying like that. Eating whatever you want, drinking whatever you want. You can inject that kind of enthusiasm without that stuff on the social side. I can stroll into a party and say, like one is the right one as a means of exchange. Without the booze and without all the heaviness that weighs you down. So that's what this thing's about. And Amy and I will talk about it. Amy's excited about it because she helped me get through it. And she knows about this stuff. She's been doing this for years and begging me to do it. And I'm like, yeah, no, it's not my thing. It's not my thing. What? Feeling better is not my thing? I was an idiot. I admit it. Yes, I admit it. I was an idiot. I'm not saying that I will never drink again, because I have. I drink on occasion. But I'll guarantee you, I always feel lower. The vibration goes lower during and after, especially after. The next day, you can just feel everything sinks. And this gives you something to contrast it. I don't talk too much. I'll talk about it later in the video with Amy. All right. And if you want to join the lovely Patreon channel where all the action's going down these days, go to Road to Ruta Patreon, become a Road Warrior. There's only one level. It's $10 a month. All kinds of stuff on there. I am posting there at least daily, about daily. Sometimes 2 or 3 times, sometimes not for a couple days. But you'll get at least, I'd say, 30 to 50 posts a month. That's a pretty good deal. What is that? 20 cents? 20 cents a post? Go to Patreon, and I can talk about the things that YouTube, the pedo social media company, won't let me talk about. So check it out. It's BixWeir, roadtoruta.com. Talk to you later.